For Chelsea and the likes of Alyssa Thompson, Baltimore, we've seen this quality come and shine and that consistency. Where do they step on now? It'd be great having Sam Kerr back after the Asian Cup final this weekend. They need her back. But where do they improve? What areas of the pitch are you looking to?
Yeah, Ellie Carpenter as well, another player that's played a lot of minutes this season and away as well. I still think they've been very competitive. I think Chelsea have had a good year. I mean, if you think they could win more domestic trophies, they're still in the Champions League. If they qualify for Champions League again next year as well, by where they finish in the table, I don't think you could say that's a bad season at all.
No.
So I think they've done well. They are going through this transition. It's taken a little bit of time to allow players to leave, other players to come in, players to get settled, get their rhythm. I do think Ramirez being out injured has been a miss for them. I think when she was at her best last season, she was terrific.
Yeah.
And that's meant they've had to adjust. You know, it's taken also Lauren James a little bit of time to adjust in that false nine and for others to work around it. Now I think that's looking a lot more fluid. That goal they scored tonight, there's 4 players in the box and Lauren James is out wide combining with Baltimore. So I feel like Chelsea are in a good place, and I think having that little wobble they had, I think that will actually be what spurs them on in moments when, you know, these Champions League games coming up against Arsenal will be tough. They'll lean on these things, these little adversities.
I think they need more depth, and that's a word. Depth is the word we've used for Chelsea in a positive sense for so long. I think they need new fullbacks to compete. I think they need midfielders to compete, and I think they need wingers as well. And I think that they've got down the spine of the team Lauren James, Aggie Beaver-Jones, Sam Kerr, of course. We don't know what her future's going to hold, but she's a top player on her day. Ramirez to come back. But I think they need to add a supply line underneath the players that they've got. When they've got everyone fit, I think central defence, okay. They've got Naomi Gurman, Natalie Bjorn, Lucy Bronze can play there. Burnham's proved to be, you know, consistent as anything over the course of the season. But I think they need to, this is part of the rebuild. And they've obviously got the likes of the young players coming through, Chloe Sori, who might solve that fullback issue on the left-hand side to add depth in that area. But I think they definitely need to add to the squad, without doubt.
I think they've had a little issue with that in that I think they have enough quality players defensively, but they've had a little issue with having enough injuries at bad times where they've had to make lots of changes.
Yeah.
Even if it ends up being a similar 4, it's sort of, well, someone will be playing somewhere different to where they played the last game. And I think that's something they may have to look at, where, you know, if we can't keep players available, the top teams very often have a very steady back 4.
You look at their substitute bench tonight, you know, very thin in terms of experience. Erin Cuthbert, Kadisha Buchanan, of course, top players on their day. But I said on Sunday after the cup final against Manchester United that I think they're going to have to get creative with how they use their squad that's fit and available over the next month, up until the next international break, because they are thin on the ground in terms of depth, which, like I said, is something we don't see often with Chelsea. But I think the creativity we saw today was Lexi Potter. And I don't necessarily mean that on the pitch. I mean it, right, OK, this is the time for Lexi to step in and play, and she did that. But she'd been working towards that moment. So I think that's a massive tick. But what next for Sonia Bompastor, and how is she going to make this team exciting and be able to compete in the next few games?